Look at how hummingbird feeds top down by hovering above flowers, using their specialized beaks downwards into the nectar source and rapidly lapping up nectar up to 15 to 20 minutes per second using their forked hair-like tongue. And now look at this. Similar specialized hovering technique and top-down precision by an intelligent pollinator that remembers the specific location and times of day when flowers provide the best nectar in a remarkable display of spatial memory. You're watching Out of the Den, where I present novelty of natural world based on my travel and field experience.
প্রবলেম নাই আপনারা চেক ইন করব
Look there, the hummingbird hawk-moth. My stream of thought was broken by the sight of one of the most extraordinary insects found in the floodplains of Assam. Where most of us visit with the hope to see huge predators and massive herbivores, the evolutionary finesse of an insect the size of a thumb that has learned to fly like a bird, see like a butterfly, and pollinate with the efficiency of a bee captivated us. At first glance, many visitors assume they have spotted a tiny hummingbird, but I knew India has none. The illusion comes from the moth's remarkable flight technique. Unlike typical moths that beat their wings in a fluttering pattern, the hummingbird hawk-moth is capable of sustained hovering and a highly flexible wing joint system, beating its wings at nearly 70 to 85 times per second, a feature reinforced by powerful thoracic flight muscles.
It has one of the fastest visual systems in the insect world, and in a stunning example of convergent evolution, it converses with hummingbirds, but is not related at all. To hover and fade without landing, it must process visual information incredibly fast. Its eyes can detect flicker rates far higher than us. I think we got flicker rates of around 60 Hz, while these moths can exceed 100 Hz easily. This allows it to stabilize itself mid-air while flowers sway in the wind. It performs real-time flight corrections using visual feedback loops, similar in principle to drone stabilization. In short, it's running high-speed flight control software in a brain smaller than a grain of rice. It uses energy economics mid-flight. Mid-flight hovering is extremely energy expensive. These moths burn sugar at one of the highest metabolic rates recorded in insects. But here's the incredible part. They can switch almost instantaneously from stored fat metabolism to direct nectar to flight energy conservation mechanism. So the sugar they drink from the flower can be oxidized and used by flight muscles within minutes. Their thoracic muscles warm up to about 40 degrees centigrade, even beyond that, even when ambient temperatures are much lower. So it's like a flying furnace powered by flower nectar.
Scientific studies from the University of Oxford have documented that aerodynamically the moth generates lift in the same style as a hummingbird, using a figure-8 wing trajectory rather than a simple up-down beat. Now, as you can see that hummingbird hawk-moth and hummingbirds have similar wing length, but the Reynolds number is vastly different. So what is Reynolds number? It is, for insects, it measures the ratio of inertial forces to viscous forces in the air surrounding their wings, acting as a critical indicator of how fluid viscosity affects their flight. So airplanes operate at very high RE or Reynolds number, right? And insects fly at low to intermediate RE, that is 10 to 10 to the power 4, where air feels thick and sticky, causing strong viscous effects. So at low RE, traditional aerodynamics fail. Insects rely on rapid flapping and clap and fling motions to generate lift and drag. Now hawk-moths and hummingbirds fly similarly, specifically in their ability to hover. But despite having different Reynolds numbers, with hummingbirds operating at higher Reynolds numbers compared to the lower Reynolds numbers of insects, they achieve similar aerodynamic performance through similar flight kinematics and specifically the exploitation of unsteady flow mechanics. And this is all due to convergent evolution. It is the only moth species in Kaziranga commonly seen hovering in daylight hours, making it visible to safari visitors who would miss most nocturnal lepidopterians entirely. Field studies have shown that the moth can make up to 70 feeding stops per minute, hovering at each flower for barely a second, drinking while airborne with extraordinary efficiency. Because of this rapid nectar sampling, scientists classify it as a high metabolic pollinator, one that moves pollen quickly across a plant population and contributes significantly to genetic mixing between flower clusters.
It has proboscis control that rivals surgical precision. Its proboscis isn't just long, it's a neuromuscular hydraulic instrument. When not in use, it coils into a tight spiral. Now, during feeding, what happens is that the hemolymph pressure, that is the insect blood pressure, helps extend the proboscis. Sensory receptors along the tip detect sugar concentration and flower depth. Research shows these moths can learn which flower shapes gives the best nectar return and adjust approach angles accordingly. So they approach in different angles to a flower, meaning they're capable of associative learning. It's long distance migrant, of course. Yes, a moth migrant in Kaziranga. So populations of hummingbird hawk moths are known to migrate across continent. In India, a related species shows strong dispersal ability. So they can travel hundreds to even thousands of kilometers. Navigation likely involves sun compass orientation and possibly geomagnetic cues. They colonize new habitats quickly after seasonal shifts. For a creature that weighs less than a paperclip, that's astonishing. And as I said, it converses with hummingbirds, but is not related, right? So this is a stunning, example of convergent evolution, as I mentioned, because birds are vertebrates and moths, insects, evolved hovering flight independently. So both developed rapid wing beats, long nectar feeding structure, and strong chest muscles. Yet their wing mechanics are completely different at the structural level, at least. So nature solved the same aerodynamic problem twice in radically different biological architectures, where two unrelated species independently evolved similar traits to fill similar ecological niches. So despite being insects, they share remarkable similarities in behavior and appearance, such as hovering, feeding on nectar with a long proboscis, and producing a humming sound like hummingbird. Those who have seen Kaziranga Chronicle 5th episode, you know that I have come across this hummingbird hawk-moth during my 5th safari. I just wanted to provide some more information which was not possible when I was narrating as part of my safari experience. So yes, if you want to take a look at the entire documentary, please go ahead and do so. And until next time, take care.